Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of Micks Mowers, and we're back. We've been to Birmingham over the last weekend to the biannual Smith-Magenis Syndrome UK Foundation Conference, which is where families from all over the world converge in one hotel, and we have professional speakers come in and they talk about all the issues within this the Smith-Magenis Syndrome that little Riley boy has, and all the other technical bits of data and all the new stuff that comes in. So we've had an absolute fantastic weekend. The brain is fully overloaded with information. We've met some fantastic new families and had an opportunity to meet up with lots of old families who we've not seen for probably 2 years plus. So just need to have time to reflect on that now. Riley's back at school. He had a fantastic time. He did karaoke, he did disco dancing, he had crash time, play time, and he had a really good time actually and did really well, which is fantastic. Mrs. P's tired, she did a lay-in this morning. We've been hanging out washing because we've been out for the weekend, as I say, so that's all good. The weather's fantastic down on the south coast, so we get all that washing done. But I have sort of missed getting down and dirty as well, so I think we need to get straight back into it. I've got 2 or 3 videos already lined up and what have you. Today we're going to be looking at a little cheap and cheerful hedge cutter that I picked up from somewhere. But I think the gentleman who had it before, he had 2, he's been in and had a little sneaky peek and a little go at it, and he has ruined the diaphragms and gaskets. So I'm not even going to bother with trying to fix a carburetor. I've just literally picked up a new carburetor for it, so hopefully it'll work. But I was talking to one of the other YouTubers the other week, to Roy, and he had an issue with a strimmer of with a hedge cutter. He just can't even get his to fire with a new carburetor as well. So it may work, it may not, but we'll have a go at it and see how it comes out anyway. So all I'm going to be doing on this video is literally stripping down this this piece of equipment. Here it is, just in front of me. If I get it out, knock stuff over. And you. It's one of these cheap and cheerful style B&Q jobs. I've had it all apart already. Hopefully I've still got all the bits and pieces that I need, and we can start to get to work on this little job here, get that up and running if possible. That'd be good. But before I do, I need to give a shout out, and I do shout outs quite often, but this isn't a subscriber shout out, this is a birthday shout out. I was contacted by Tracy, who simply said, "Hi Mick and Riley boy, we love watching your videos. Mick, if you get time, could you please give a big happy birthday to my hubby Brad on the 8th of May? And it's roughly be the 8th of May by the time this video comes out. It would make his day. So happy birthday to you, Brad, and thanks for watching me and little Riley boy on our little journey through our YouTube world. Hope you have a fantastic day, mate, and look forward to hearing you soon. I have also pumped something in the post for you as well. That should be there in a couple of days. So thank you very much, and happy birthday to you, Brad." So without further ado, come on, let's get down and let's get dirty, and let's see if we can't sort out this. So this is how it came. The carburetor was in bits. He's put new fuel pipes on by the looks of it. All of this come with it. So, but the only bit I'm missing by the looks of it, I've got an air filter somewhere floating about for it. I think it's up on the top. I'm missing one of the carburetor screws. That's not in there. So I've got to find a new carburetor screw to hold the carb in place, which is just one of these. I should have something very similar in my bits and bobs drawer. In fact, that isn't too far shabby. The thread's a bit different, but I might be able to find something just to fit it. So I've got to go through that rigmarole. Let's see what's in the kit with the carburetor. This is an aftermarket carburetor. Let's see what we got. I'm going to be sorting my shed out this week. So what do we get in the kit? Oops, I'll cut the spare bits in here. So I've got a little gasket, I've got a carburetor, I've got 2 spare primer bulbs as well. Now this should, by rights, be roughly the same setup, I would say. I have to use this bracketry to come off. if I can get it all to go together. We shall see. It may not work yet, so maybe this video may be a complete fail, because obviously it's not exactly the same. But hopefully I can get it all to go together and all to work. So let's start off with taking this old carburetor off. So I've got to undo this throttle linkage, that comes off, undo these screws and what have you, just to drop this off the top, and then we'll go from there. So it looks like I want about a 10mm, possibly. Right, I've got a 10, I think it's a 10, yeah it is. Let's now start to loosen this carburetor off. That just unscrews. Like so. Once that comes off, we can then literally just tip the throttle arm down and try and bring this cable forward. Let me get a pair of long nose snippers. Just hold that cable in place, and then I can then tip that forward. That'll then free the cable up. That'll come out, and all that comes out like so. So that's where we are. So let's put it around the right way. So this carburetor actually is a lot longer in distance. The holes line up, and this looks relatively the same, although this is back to front. But I'm hoping we can overcome that little issue. I hope. And just as long as we get this mounting bracket to work, then we should be on to a bit of a winner. So all I'm going to do to begin with is disconnect this this little carburetor assembly. Try and take these screws out where I can. I mean, have to bend this round so it fits the other way around, you know. We shall see. It said it fits it, but I don't think, like most aftermarket products, I don't think it's actually designed for this. This is like a generic carburetor, but you may have to overcome and adapt. I'll take those two screws out first. That should come off. Happy with that. Put that to one side for now. And then, so that, let me get this right first. So that was that way. So that must go in there somehow. Like that, did it? Lost my place already. Goes in there. Okay, so that goes in there. And that arm is back to front. So I'm guessing, put that there so I know which way up that went. So I'm guessing that'll go in there somehow, but that would be right the wrong way. It wants to go in that way, so I don't know if I can put it in like that and then bend this section round the other way so it fits. Let me try that first. I want to take this carburetor screws out. And that one. It's going to be fiddly. Let me get a slightly smaller screwdriver. Should be down here. Sorry about the lack of noise, but I'm just trying to figure this out. It's all spring loaded, but that screw won't pass any of that. So let me just back that off a touch. Which might just give me a bit more. It's all trying to move. There it goes. That comes out. So I want that to go
like so. So it was round that way, and by turning that round, it's going to be slightly wrong area. I'll put that into a vise if it won't bend on its own, which it won't. Straighten it out and bend it back the other way. Gives 2 ticks. Okay, I've made a few adjustments, and all I've done is just change the angle of that round the other way, and that'll now sit into there, hopefully. So hopefully I made the right decision. It may all completely backfire. Let's now try and fit this back to how it should go. So it goes on there. Just loosely fit that one. These are all the same size screws. That's got to fit in there a bit snugger than what it is. There's a hole gone. It wants to push down ever so slightly. That's better. It just wants to just twist around. It's nearly there. I'll try and start it off in there. Just want to get it to seat. Once it's seated, it should straighten itself back up. It's going. Let it go into the carburetor. Now it's starting to lift. I'll keep going for now. Now it's taken. Now it's closing down. I don't want to strip the threads. So that's gone down there. Now that one's gone down into there. So it has actually fitted, although it's in complete reverse the way it should be. But now I have an issue because this here will not clear, which is a shame. I don't think it's far off. So my next alternative is going to be to actually remove this section and put this section on. Let me just try that. I'm going to take this all off again. I'm going to try to remove this whole section here to change the way this carburetor works. Okay, so we're back in the room. No, I don't think we're going to be able to do this. They both look very, very similar. That's quite a small bore in there. What's we got in that one? That's completely different. That won't fit into there at all. So that's a bigger one. That's the old one. Is there anything we can take off of this? That's got a main jet in there. That's got a centre pin. Yeah, different diameters. Okay, so those two look very similar. So what I intend to do is now, because that's all solid in there, there's not a lot in there to go wrong. So I'm going to take this off, which is the old one. Take all 4 of these out. You got it happen. There's some big screws in there. He's nearly there. That's it. Right, that comes off. So this is the old one. I'm now going to take this off. 2 more to go. Drop that off. So inside these look pretty much the same in construction wise, so I'm happy with that. That's got a gasket and diaphragm on there. This is the old one. I'm now going to put this new one in place onto there. So that's got the new primer bulb assembly, and that's now going to go back onto the new one here. Well, there was a spring. I just noticed there's a spring underneath on that new carburetor. Let me just double check something. What's under there? Yeah, no, that's all okay. The Welch plug has just been barbarically put in as well. I just noticed that the Welch plug's not even sat down. Let's just push that back down home. It's a problem with these very cheap carburetors. They just bang them together. You'd think just by slapping a carburetor on it, it would just work, you know. You need to check these things. Right, I'm going to put that down there and screw that down. So these, all 4 of these screws or bolts should fit. Let me screw it down and I'll come back. Right, that's now all fitted in place. So that's now US, that's now US. And I'm now going to take the wider one, which is that one, put that back into its home, which is there. Oh, that's not. No. Going to be there. And then I want to put that plate that's going to be bent back round again now. 2 ticks, and we bent it back round. Right, that's been bent back round. Oh, near enough. I've got to straighten it up yet. So that will go into there. Yeah, a bit more straightening to do. Just on that one arm just there, I think. And then round. It goes into there. Right, happy with that now. And then we had 2 of these little screws. One there. One there. Put them in. Just don't want to go. There it is. So that one's going. I'll nick it up too tight just yet because I want to get this other one in. Yeah, that's centralised. This one going just there. And there it goes. I've got to straighten this up yet. That's not quite straight. Let's screw that down so it's home. That's home. That's all now free to rotate. It just wants bending up ever so slightly without breaking anything. About there. Right, happy with that. Well, it's just a touch more up against that plastic bit is where it's got to go. I'll bend the plastic bit if I can help it. That's better. That'll do. Right, so that looks good. Let's now rehook up the throttle and what have you. And then we can start to put this carburetor back together. I've got a gasket to put on the back, which has got a little hole in it, which is going to go something like that. And then we can then refit it back onto the engine and the throttle exactly as before. So that's going to go all the way through there, that'll do up, and that'll go onto that little throttle mechanism just there. So let's get that done and I'll come back. Well, all done so far is just literally put that back through with the cable on as well, just to make sure that's pulling through, which it is. That can now go back on to the engine. I've got a gasket to put on as well. I'm assuming that gasket goes there because there's a bit of gasket gunk just there, so I've got to clean off. That'll go onto that. I've got a heat shield as well, which also goes on. I'm guessing that way. So just double checking. Actually, that won't go on there. That'll go on there. The heat shield with no gasket, and a gasket on the front, I dare say. Although no, I'm going to change my mind. It's got a hole there. That's designed to have a hole. I'm going to put that onto there and that onto there. That's what I'm going to do. So get me one screw that I have got. So I'll go through the carburetor holder, through there, that on there, that on there, that all on there. I'll do it up loosely, and then I'll try and find another bolt to fit that as well. Give us 2 ticks. Right, I think I've found another bolt, and it probably is actually the one, I dare say. So I'm happy with that. Just now got to get this all together. So I've got the carburetor, just want to get the heat shield and the gasket, which I've put down somewhere. And now I can't find that. Found it, it's down in here. My gasket. Right. So, one engine bolt. No, that's wrong. So I've been out of touch for a little while. So there's no guarantee this is even going to run this carburetor. But it's worth a go. Just can't seem to find the actual carburetor for it. That's a problem. So that all goes on together. I want the gasket to go on next. That lines up. Then the heat shield to go on. That all goes on together. It's a bit defunct, but it should go. Yeah, there we go. And then that all lines up together into place and screws down. Right, the carburetor's now in place. Choke's all working. Throttle's all working in there. So I want to introduce a bit of fuel now. Does have a bit of gunk in there. I've cleaned most of it out. Let me get a bit of clean fuel. I'll give that a bit of a swill out because it wasn't particularly dirty. Got some fresh fuel, 50-to-1 mix. Put about a quarter of a tank in. Put that on. And now I just want to double check that this carburetor is actually going to work or not. All I'm going to do is I'm going to put one of the fuel lines on. I'm guessing it's self-explanatory. I'm guessing that you just literally put the tall one on the tall one. I'm going to try and prime this now. So that's not priming there. So which one is that one? That is the top one, is the backflow. So that won't prime unless I put the bottom one on first, which is my feed. Let's put that on. Now that should now push fuel back out of there. Here it comes. There it goes. So now it's pushing fuel out the top. Join the circuit up. And now it's now pushing fuel back round where it should be. Done quite a good job putting new fuel lines on, to be fair. Let me just push that overflow pipe down a touch. It's a bit too high. That's it. Right, that's now pushing fuel back around where it should be. We pressurise the tank, and that's now priming exactly how it should be. So that's telling me we've got a good prime system. So I'm happy with that. Next thing I'll do is grab an air filter. Now I have seen one laying about. Where were we? Yeah, there's one there. I found a screw to fit into there, so that's now solid. So happy with that. Hope this isn't all for nothing. That does feel a bit too long. But I'm going to back that off, if it'll let me. I'm going to put another washer on that. It's only got half a washer. And I want something to fit that a bit better. So let's back that out. And let me find my washers, which are to hand. I'll get rid of that old washer and put a half sensible one on, and then back that up with the next size up as well. And that should fit a bit better. We'll line it all up now. I'll find the hole. Yeah, that's good. Well, then carburetor bits can go into just to a pot for later on. I want that to bite down if I can. Yeah, that's a bit. Okay, that's all working. I might have to adjust the throttle yet, not quite sure, but we'll take it outside and try and fire it. Right, let's try and give it a bit of a fire. So we've got fuel going around, give that 2 or 3 pumps. Turn that on. Don't think you can lock this one off, I don't think. It doesn't tend to do a lot. Whatever that does, no idea. So it's been choked, is going to be on one or the other. I'm guessing that's going to be on. Let's see. Okay, so it wants a bit of a tune on the carburetor, and there's a bolt just here that's loose. I need to tighten that up. So I'll do it now. I'm going to fire it up again. Right, let's have a fire up. That's been done up. Turn it on again. I'm not going to choke it this time or prime it. Just give it another go. Brilliant, super happy with that. I didn't think for a minute that carburetor was actually going to work, but it primed well and it runs not too bad at all. I don't think there's much adjustment to be had on it. However, I think I can just tweak the throttle cable just a touch more, just to open it up a little bit more. But all in all, I'm super happy. First day back at it, and we have a winner, so that's good. So thank you very much for watching me on this episode of Micks Mowers. Riley boy will be around at some point in the next video. He's busy at school now, so he just got settled down after the long weekend that we had. But he'll be back down getting dirty with me very soon. And just once more, a very big happy birthday to you, Brad. Hope you have a fantastic day. Hope you enjoyed the video. And I look forward to seeing you all again very soon on the next episode of Micks Mowers. But until then, take it easy.